Hi Libra, welcome to your August 2016 General Tarot reading. Okay, so let me just talk about the overall energy and then just jump right into the, overall energy is the 8 of Cups. So something is making you want to leave, or you will leave a situation that is emotionally unsatisfying for you. Obviously, because this is a general reading, it's not necessarily going to be every card that you feel resonates with you. But for those who that resonates, let me just go to the past to explain things a little bit more. So you have the 7 of Cups and the Page of Wands. Actually, in a situation like this, let's say it was a job that you would like to leave, that you just don't feel passion for anymore. You may recently have either gotten some communication that is very positive about a career or some other job that seems like it's much more along the lines of what you're interested in, and there's a sense in general that you have a lot of options, but there could be fantasy on your end around what is happening. So you have to watch out with the 7 of Cups that you are seeing things clearly and that you're going to make a choice that is based on reality, on what is really the case. So in other words, if somebody's telling you these great things about another company, another job, and building it up, it would be obviously wise to make sure that you check it out thoroughly and don't just jump into it and find out that it was all just a scam. Because with the Page of Wands, it's just like, wow, this thing is happening. In the same thing with relationships. Sometimes it's like kind of the initial stages in a relationship. When I see Wands versus Cups, there's more of a passionate dynamic. So, with the Cups, it connects to the water sign, so it's much more from the heart and much more, we could say romantic. And the fire energy of the Wands is more like, sometimes it can just be like lust, to be honest with you. Sometimes it can be something like that. Now, the Page of Wands can indicate a younger person that is involved. And, some of you may be dealing with a child or someone, and you may feel compelled to leave because of that, and leave a situation that is not healthy, but you're thinking of your child before yourself. Now let me just look at the current cards, because that's more of what is happening right now. We get 2 major arcana cards, the Devil and the Chariot. There may be something holding up this ability to move on. It may be that some of you are involved in relationships that are addictive in some way, compulsive. The usual suspects are pleasures of the flesh and someone with a lot of dough. The devil connects with Capricorn. So some of you may be involved with a Capricorn individual, and maybe that person is very wealthy or has a nice lifestyle, and you're not happy, but on the other hand, you don't want to be without that kind of, bling. Libra is one of those signs that likes to have nice things. I know some of you are going to just rip me a new one, but Kim Kardashian is a Libra. And that just immediately came to mind. But, it's anybody, who is a Libra, because Libra loves beauty. It could be a man or a woman, too. The Libran men are clothes horses, too. So it's not just a female thing. There are probably the majority of Libran men are probably metro, right? They like to have nice clothes. They like to groom. So anyway, this is coupled with the Chariot card. So this is about taking the reins, and it's also about choice. It's funny. It's about the sign Cancer, which is the opposite sign of Capricorn. So it could be push-pull, where you are trying to take the reins and you find yourself falling back into some kind of compulsive habit. And I'm talking about specifically related to a relationship. Even in a business sense, there are a lot of people who are staying with a job because the pay is too good for them to think about leaving. And I understand that. The way that I would look at it to try to make peace with yourself is if you absolutely do not hate it. In other words, if going to work does not trigger, nausea or just horrible feelings within you, and you don't have an inharmonious workplace or anything like that, it's just that you're not feeling it, maybe you would stay for a while, and maybe you just really save your money and not go out for a while, just with the intention of finally leaving. Maybe you'll start something on the side that's your own thing, and while you're doing your day job, just try to build up the other thing. You don't have to leave, even if it is unfulfilling, as this card suggests, the Eight of Cups. It doesn't mean that you have to do it right now. But if it's something that is affecting your health, whether it be your physical or mental health, then you do have to kind of honor that, because money is great, but not at the expense of your health, not expense of your serenity. So just thinking like that. Now, also, the Chariot is about, really having a victory and being victorious. And it could be that you will be victorious over these temptations represented by the Devil card. It could be that is something that you're able to accomplish. Now, the number 7 is a very, you've seen the number 7 a lot. We have 7 days of the week. The Bible has 7, I think, a lot. So it's considered a lucky number, right? And the devil card adds up to a 6. It's 15, it adds up to 6, which is the number of home and family and peace. So with these two numbers, and the 7 is kind of like a choice. It's a turning point. It can also relate to anything mystical and, kind of an intuitive number. With those two things together, it could be that is what you need to focus on in order to move your life forward. And so if you don't feel that you have harmony within the home, then you know the answer to your dilemma and what you need to cut from your life. And if you don't have a spiritual practice, you might want to start one, and that will give you the fortitude to be able to navigate or get beyond these feelings of being tied to something that is no good for you. The card that crosses you is the Nine of Cups. Now, this is a very positive card of the Minor Arcana, one of the best, you could say. In the challenged position, I think that there's always the risk of overindulgence in informing your decisions in your daily life, and you may be too much attached to that to be able to find what is truly fulfilling for you. You know, it's kind of like people overeating, and they're overeating on crap too. So you see, it doesn't fulfill them because it doesn't have nutrients. And it's kind of interesting how that works, because when you eat high density foods, you don't have to, I'm talking about in terms of nutrients, you don't have to eat that much to feel satisfied. And the same thing with life experiences. You know, Libra loves culture, like art and all the things that relate to the higher mind. And so when you are, you know, doing those kinds of activities, those are things that feed your soul. And the other things that are not so fulfilling, and I consider art to be spiritually fulfilling, those kind of things will leave you empty. And if you are an artist, some of you may be artists, maybe you're not doing it, maybe you're focusing on some relationship that's really with an energy vampire and somebody who's sucking your energy. Those kind of things, you should be doing your artwork. And it's funny because the higher message, you know, I wasn't even thinking about that. Usually I read, you know, it differently, but I've done a new setup. And the higher message is the Three of Pentacles. So this is you building a life that is very sound. You know, the pentacles relate to the earth, so it's grounded. But the three is a number of creativity. So I feel like maybe some of you have been neglecting your art, and you've been looking for stimulation in maybe kind of relationships that are not really giving you what you need, and maybe even taking away certain things. They may be actually diminishing from you what is good. So I would suggest that you turn your attentions and pour your energy, which is what this card is about, is pouring your energy into something that really does have, you know, a firm foundation, a structure, and potential future success, because you're doing something along those lines. That's what the Three of Pentacles is indicating. Maybe some of you are starting small businesses, and maybe you've started very small, and that can be very good, you know, to start very small. Maybe you still have another job at the same time and you're starting very small. Keep going. Don't, you know, stop what you're doing. For some of you, there may be an earth sign individual who is, you know, actually a very good, solid choice. It's funny because I mentioned that Capricorn. That may, you know, it could be that the Capricorn is not a bad guy at all. Maybe it is a good person for you. Just because it's attached to a devil doesn't mean that he's a devil or she's a devil. The reason I said that, though, as kind of like a challenge, if it is literally a Capricorn, is only because that your sun sign squares with Capricorn, and so there can be clashes in basic ways of looking at life that totally differ, but there are some things that you may have in common as well, and sometimes opposites do attract. Okay, so The attitude to adopt is the Five of Pentacles. Now, typically the Five of Pentacles to me is a card of poverty consciousness. And obviously, you don't want to ever adopt poverty consciousness. But this, if you see, now this is a weird depiction. I love Morgan Greer, but I always, shake my head at this this card because I still do not understand. If any of you are familiar with this deck and know the backstory of the Five of Pentacles in the Morgan Greer deck, please leave it below. I don't get the bandage. I know that, somebody's wounded. These are people who are down and out. I mean, it's supposed to be the down and out card. So in the Rider-Waite deck, there are people dressed in rags, and they have a stained glass window behind them. This is, I think, supposed to, represent stained glass window behind them. In this position, I think that it's referring to what's in the background is the spiritual dimension. And again, do you embrace that part of life? Or are you looking, are you skimming the surface of life? And sometimes Libras can do that only because, you love the kind of things, you're a fun person. So you can find pleasure in these, I hate to say trivialities, because I can too sometimes. But you're the kind of person, you're a very social person typically, and you just like to have fun, you're very witty, so you can kind of live in your mind as an air sign and get along quite well. I don't get many clients that are air signs, and I always wonder about that. But I think the main reason why is because you really are powered by your intellect. And so maybe you don't think that anything metaphysical is going to be an answer to all your problems. But then I tried to look back to last month, and I actually got a lot of views for I think, but you know what? I think it was the love reading, and there you go. Libra ruled by Venus, so it may be in the love arena that you are interested in these types of readings. But yeah, I mean, I think that might be what it is, that you use your mind as your tool for navigating through life, and it's, it serves you well in most cases. But I would just say that having a spiritual life doesn't mean that you have to join an organized religion. That's an important thing to realize. It can just be seeing the magical quality of life, the quality that is not part of the five senses. And just seeing synchronicities around you. Seeing when things are just like, oh, wow, isn't that a coincidence that I happen to be walking down the street and I was thinking about a certain person, and here, he is or she is. And then saying, wait, maybe things aren't random. Maybe there's a lot more to the story. And that can make your every choice more meaningful. The advice is the Six of Swords. So there is some kind of connection between that card and this card. They're both leaving. Now, with the Six, I had said to you, because the Devil card adds up to 6, that it means, peace, harmony. And that's what the Six of Swords represents. Leaving a situation behind, and rowing to smoother waters. Or is that smoother waters? Quieter waters, peaceful waters, going somewhere else. Sometimes it can mean literally that you're moving, moving house, but the swords represent the air signs. So it's about honoring that part of you that needs to be to be calm in your thoughts. Maybe somebody has, I don't want to say made you act a certain way, but because of their behavior, you have been feeling very jarred. and not your usual cool self. And you're going to honor your need for that by leaving that situation. So I do sense that for some of you, you're going to be leaving someone or something behind. It could be on the work front. It could be an inharmonious workplace where you have people. Sometimes it's not the work. My partner told me that it's never the work, it's the people. And I have to agree with him. You know, sometimes your co-workers can really make a job unbearable. And likewise, in your private life, if you don't feel compatible, if somebody is too negative or a rageaholic, that's not going to sit well with you. So you're going to want to leave so that you can have more peace in your life. And then the outcome is the Seven of Swords. And this could be you going it alone, which is not, and this doesn't, these minor arcana cards are speaking to snapshots in time. They're very kind of, frequent, it's not, these are not like major arcana where they're just like talking about major shifts. It could be just actions that you're taking. When you get a lot of the major arcanas, it's like you're really entering this new period. And maybe the Seven of Swords can also relate to you being very tight-lipped about your situation. Maybe you're not going to advertise to other people that you have left. And that would probably be wise. Maybe there's some other reason why you need to be discreet about the situation. It could involve a fellow air sign, so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, that is fitting into this. Maybe this is the person that you are going towards. Maybe you are with an earth sign and you're going towards an air sign. But you might have to be discreet. You might have to keep to yourself right now. See, that's another seven. So sevens are about withdrawing, I think, sometimes too, like, going it alone. And for Libra, that is not necessarily what you normally do. So maybe that would be a good idea for you to spend some time alone, because you're, I think, kind of easily influenced by the opinions of others, because you like to have that, what do you call it? Validation isn't really the word I was looking for, but approval from other people, and that can make it hard for you to live in integrity. So when you're making these decisions, not having the input from other people can be very helpful for you sometimes, so that you don't get too indecisive, which I think some of you will smile and nod and say, yeah, I am pretty indecisive, and I have a hard time taking certain actions because of it. Because I can weigh, the Libra is the scales, you can weigh both sides, and you can see all sides of a situation. That's one of the reasons why Libra, it's connected to the house of the law. So a lot of Librans tend to gravitate towards being a lawyer or being a judge, particularly because they can assess situations so thoroughly. But in your own life, when you're trying to make a decision, it can be a little bit irritating to have to see all sides of that situation.